across the four corners of the world. You know, we're here, you know, this Wednesday camp, you know, go into prophecy, you know, which is said, which is said before. What we're saying is the downfall of America, known as Babylon the Great, according to the scriptures. We have an article from newstarget.com. It's going to go more into biblical prophecy.
Right. Yeah, the source is News Target. And this article is entitled, "Is the American Food Supply Chain Collapsing?" And this article was posted on the 6th of October 2021.
Right. So you see what's going on in the UK with the global supply chain crisis. So what's happening over, it's really like what's going to be happening over here in the main hub, known as America, according to the scriptures, you know? Babylon the Great, you know? It's part of geopolitics, like you stated, you know?
Right. Back into the article, it states, the word of the month is inflation. Transitory inflation, my bad. Supply, chain woes, and other problems are all going away soon, we are told, except for the fact that all right. The supply chain crisis with food alone is much worse than the mainstream media is letting on. Despite all of the rosy language being used to try to quell the
This 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they should say peace and safety, this sudden destruction coming to them upon them as travailing a woman with child.
Yeah, so that's what mainstream news is doing right now. Which, you know, go to that word media, it goes to like that channel, medium, where they're trying to channel your energy. So they try to tell the people what's happening over there in the UK is not coming over here to America. But what you saying what's happening over there in the UK with the global supply chain crisis is definitely going to happen to America. How about Shimon Shah? He's utilizing the leaks of Esau Edom to say the best chance, man. This is that main hub, you know?
And this is according to Michael Snyder of the Economic Collapse blog, who says that an industry insider spilled the beans to him about how serious things really are. This is according to Michael Snyder of the Economic Collapse blog, who says that an industry insider spilled the beans to him about how serious things really are.
Because the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 3, who work their tongue like a sword and bend their bows, like it says in this is Psalm 64 and 8. So their own tongues will fall upon themselves, all that see them shall flee away.
And that goes to these different whistleblowers that's been a part of these secret councils of the higher ups. So here they are, they knew these different secrets, now they come out into the forefront and they share, you know, they release the beans. What's going on to Esau's secret plans, man. So that's the time frames that we in now. Everything's been exposed on all levels and spectrums, okay?
In the States, this insider, who is said to run a grocery store in Maine, says things are worse than he has ever seen. His exact words were that he has never seen anything close to what is happening now.
It's like, and I read an article, the guy said it, that in I think Massachusetts or Pennsylvania, they gonna do the same thing too.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
Then 2 Ezra 6 and 22.
In an email, this person who says he has been self-employed for 25 years and runs an independent IGA affiliated grocery store along the coast of Maine explains that supply chain problems are real and that orders are seriously backed up.
Those the mom and pop stores, you know, the middle class people that own these different businesses, man, they gonna feel it the worst. because Esau was starving them out. You know? But what people don't understand is the government is at war with you, man. All right? It's been a silent war, but it's finna get loud soon, man. All right? They already been putting poison in your foods when the foods were playing with normal. They already poisoning the air. They already poisoning your mind, pollute your mind, you know, with the TV and the media. So now they taking a step forward. They finna siege America, man.
It's about control.
Yeah.
You control the food supply and the water source. You are in full control.
Yeah.
You are actually at the capacity of a so-called God.
Within this article, it don't go in about how they really attacking the middle class. Rich, so to Revelation 13 chapter, going to about the Corrals, it stated rich and poor. It didn't state anything about the middle. You know what I'm saying? So that's the two the spectrums right there, the rich and the poor. Because the middle class gonna be out of there. So,
I got a precept, man, you and the Yasha. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. A strong man. That's actually going into so-called owners, you know, like of these upper middle classes that receive residual income. Well, they are about to be affected against your mom and pop stores. So they're going to be humbled by this time frame too. All right, why? Because the Most High through Esau is about to wipe out the middle class, which you stated was spoken of in Revelation 13 chapter. Now you're going to have what? Either rich and poor, small or great. All right, free and bond. Okay. All right, back into the scripture. And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
yeah, so and then you know that there's no more type of that Murphy and Land's about to be shut down all levels, man. All these people had aspirations that things gonna get back together. This so-called pandemic, but you keep saying Dr. Fauci on the news. He keep telling you about months later on from now. You know, he's not. He keep telling you the same thing he was telling you the same time last year, that things gonna get better. But now we in a situation right here, almost in December 2021. He's still saying the same things. How things gonna get better. The pandemic's almost over. And here we are in the same shoes that we was in earlier this year. You know.
And when you look out, and when you're looking through a window and you see darkness, what happens? You know, now you have low esteem. Now you have low mood because of depression. All right. So now you have to meet that demon called depression, feelings of worthlessness and things of that nature. Why? Insecurity. All right, because things are not like they used to be.
So we really seeing the fall of America right before our very own eyes. Like everybody else thinking that things gonna get back to normal, everybody trying to get ready for Christmas shopping. But notice that Esau's allowing this global supply chain crisis happening on the UK right before these colder months. Why does Operation Dark Winter keep coming out, man?
Yeah.
Because this is a time frame we are in. And you all look into that Operation Dark Winter, it's called Directive 51. You know, it's like a global pandemic exercise with the DOD, which is the Department of Defense. They set up these different bioterrorism exercises to show you how to get the nation ready for a global pandemic, man. So they let you know what's about to happen before it actually happens. And this is Esau's part of prophesying on the left-hand side. What's that called? It's called predictive programs, where he prophesies through articles, through movies, through TV shows, commercials, magazines. You know, the list goes on. You know, because he's trying to fulfill into the vibration of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You know.
Yeah, and we saw an inkling of that dark winter with Dallas last year. You know, that was Esau. What did he do? He destroyed that grid for control. You know.
And they got a thing called I think it's called the global swan theory. You know, they were saying like it's gonna be like a solar storm happening. It's gonna shut down the internet for several months. So we in those time frames, man. You know.
And guess what happened? When the internet is shut down for a couple months, now when you're able to get back on and log on, now it's gonna be controlled and regulated, man. It's all about control and regulation. You wanna go back to the article? All right, it states back into this article. My supplier has limited us on orders for about a month now. Limited the physical number of cases we can order, the email explains. It states their issue was mainly the health crisis in their warehouse, order pickers, and truck drivers. Same story everywhere, I know. All right. 19C was always about destroying those economies.
That's why this guy named Klaus Schwab, he's the founder of the World Economic Forum, and he stated that the pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, to reimagine, and reset our world. Going through this great, this global transformation, this NWO. I mentioned the book of Job, the 10th chapter, how Job prophesied about they going to fulfill their success. You know, you go to the word success in the animal line or enterprise, it goes to taking hand. What's that ultimate device that the least of Esau Edom want to take in hand? It goes into the microchip, man, the corral, you know? So this so-called pandemic is a foreshadowing things before that main prophecy mentioned Revelation 13 chapter. Go ahead, bro.
It's Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice ye heaven, and y'all and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is coming down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he had but a short time.
Who's the devil?
Esau Edom.
Huh?
Esau Edom.
Hey, Esau is the devil, right? Hey, and what was the last part?
Because he knows that he had but a short time.
A short time to do what? Job 5 and 12. He disappoints the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
That's the Most High. He's going to utilize his only begotten son, Yahushua, to disrupt Esau's NWO agenda. Because you really think these elites, they really think they're going to fulfill this NWO 100%. That's when Yahushua is going to upset them, you know?
Mm-hmm. And anytime you rush something, it never goes as planned. You know? Want to get this article? You got to read this more research.
In this second Ezra chapter 16, verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Like I say, sword, all right, because once you take, because you already look at how people are confrontational now. You know, you had those Edomites pretty much storm Trader Joe's with the mask off, all right? You got these ideologies clashing, the anti-mask, the pro-mask, you know, the pro-juice, the anti-juice. The tensions are already high now. So imagine when you take away food from the equation, man. The sword's gonna come out. You see? All these prophecies is connected together, man. You know?
You know, so that type of vibration, if they see what's going on with like the UK, just like a few days ago, you had, I think, over there in the port of Los Angeles, you had like a ship just stopped. You know what I'm saying? Just it land still. They had a whole lot of supplies, and I want to say a lot of essential items on there. So these Americans seeing that type of energy going on throughout mainstream news, that's going to put them into that panic buying. You know, so once you get that panic buying, that's like a high purchase of buying. You just, you know, buying up items you really don't need because you're being scared of that fear tantrum, you know? So that type of behavior is going to lead to a decrease in the supply, but a higher demand. That's pretty soon going to lead to these different riots, these class wars, and things of that sort.
Hey, you really gonna see people show that animalistic like behavior. And then once there's no laws or enforcement to regulate it, people are going crazy, man. That's why the scripture states lawless. Huh? That's why the scripture states how they're it should be in their hands. I go in 2 Ezra 15. Yeah. 2 Ezra 15. You know, their actions shall stand in their hands, man. You know, meaning I can kill somebody, or not kill, but murder somebody for this plate and not get arrested. Why? Because there's no active law enforcement, man.
I got you real quick. 2 Ezra 15 and 16. For there should be sedition of men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
That's right. You read on like Dabu, on his different comments, you got people saying, hey, let's go ahead and take out these local government officials. You know, they already get boosted in the spirit, man. So Yahweh Shai is going to amplify even more when he makes things be more tighter and draconian for these people, man.
Right.
These people are able to feed their children and things of that sort. These people will be running to their neighbors' houses, and pretty soon they're going to be getting these local politicians, man.
They already follow one politician to the bathroom. You know? You got citizens running up on these politicians out of government, man.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
Hey, you looking at that video? It's
Some
some
of your things in Arizona, you know? You running the fact check, and I think it's in Arizona.
It was some videos. Some guy came in. He was in the council. He just talked to him. He said, "I can't hold. I can't hold how you feel." He said, "It's a lot of them out there. They ready.
Yeah.
See, they all ready. So you ain't got no food. Hey, they coming."
Yeah. You gonna see Edomites. Cause see, what you gonna see, who you gonna see really getting at these politicians gonna be the Edomites.
Yeah,
man.
really.
All right, but Jake ain't gonna do shit. All right, Jake gonna get in the game so late, you know. But you gonna see these red-blooded Edomites really go in like when this mandated that you can't go to the grocery store without the potion. You gonna see Esau losing, man. Cause Esau don't wear the mask nowhere. He don't give a damn, and he be looking like he wants you to say something, man.
Exactly.
So when they mandated to where they can't go into the grocery store or their kids can't go to school, you know, without it, that's when you gonna see Esau really just start wreaking havoc, man.
And you know what's so crazy? Hey, because it's all pre-planned. Through Yahweh Shem Shah on the left hand side. Hey, Elder Knopf forwarded me a video. The movie took place like in the 70s. I forwarded it to you. Hey, the movie took place in the 70s. This chick was taking her baby to the hospital. Now the baby was sick or something. However, the baby didn't have the mark on her forehead, neither did the mom. So the woman that was actually at the hospital stated, look, we can't help y'all. You have to have this mark. So ultimately, Esau is showing you all this shit is gonna be mandated. All right? Mandate means what? When you go into that term, to give one over to another. So Esau is using these corporations, all right, to actually to gather the inhabitants of the world for his new world order, man. And it's plain as day.
Back in 2nd Ezra 16 to 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish with famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
How about Shah? He's utilizing his vessel, his honor. Esau Edom begin with these elites to start these food shortages, these drastic shortages, which goes through this famine, man. You really think that the Most High, he's going, it's like you think he's going to stop these crops from growing, but really he's pouring out his spirit upon the elites to go ahead and start these shortages, man. And that's going to cause a lot of people to be in that panic mode. And these people in that panic mode, they're going to become very lawless out here. You know, it's going to be that type of mentality, every man for himself. Get it by all means, you know.
I got a quick minute to back up the statement. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
Hey, the nobility of Edom.
Yep.
The nobility of Edom are. And just like the Most High controls the water sources, and he controls basically the mind of Esau.
That's right.
You know?
Get done with time.
All right. It's Isaiah 10 and 6. I will send him against a hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath. I will give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey.
How about Shah? He's going to give Esau Edom begin with these elites that command. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're in charge right now to do the bidding of the Most High. It's going to be on that left-hand side. And the hypocritical nation speaking about the 2/3 of our people that want to come back and be obedient to How about Shah in these very latter days, man. So that's who the Most High is going to utilize.
To take down the spoil and take the prey and tread them down like a mire of the street.
Yeah, niggas gonna lose like never before. Like as this thing plays out, you see the least prepared people on earth is Jake, man. You know, especially if you're in the black Christianity, the black church, you're the least informed person on earth, man. You have no clue what's really going on. You know, and like I say, man, Jake ain't gonna realize, you know, that it's chaos until it's tens of thousands of Jakes getting slaughtered, man. Everybody's gonna be ahead of Jake in this, man. The Most High set up Jake to take a big L in this time, man.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Because Jake has been, you know, refusing to hearken, man. You know.
I got another one too after this. All right, Proverbs 21 and 1. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
And it's Job 12 and 9. Who knows not in all things that the hands of Yahweh Shah had wrought this.
Yeah, wrought meaning it's part of the Most High's work. You know what I'm saying? So it's part of his work to fulfill biblical prophecies and get the least of Esau Edom come down upon our people with that great wrath. And get the least of Esau Edom to cause these different food shortages. You know what I'm saying? These different lack of essential items. Over there in the UK right now, I think the president or the prime minister, Boris Johnson, he's getting the army to utilize, they doing field deliveries over there right now because it's so bad right now.
Canada.
Yeah.
You got the military, you know, in New York, places, you know, healthcare workers. You see, you got those border patrol, a lot of them, they finna quit due to the mandates. You know, so the border gonna be wide open, man. America, you know, it's finna be a terror house, man. You know, it's finna be an actual haunted house. You know. Then you got, you know, it's October, so you know Esau finna be heavy into his rituals. All right, and Satan requires blood, man. You know, and they finna sacrifice for their new world order, man. It's finna be a lot of bodies. All right, it's finna hit the floor, man.
All right, this is another point proving, look, this is the Most High show, man. All right, this is Second Ezra, all right, 11 and 38. Hear thou, and I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee. It's talking about the fourth beast. Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world?
Yeah, and this is speaking of the Roman Empire, all right? But what is America? It's the last leg of the Roman Empire, man. You see, America is pretty much Rome, all right, revitalized, man. All right, that wounded, all right, head that was healed. This is America, man. Go ahead.
That the end of their times might come through them?
Yep, the end of their times, the end of who time? Esau's rulership. America will be at the peak of his power, all right, at the end of this man's rulership, man. And this is where we at. We got
Verse 40, 2 Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past,
Yep.
and had power over the world with great fearfulness.
Yep,
And
you
over,
go into the history, the Roman Empire, you know, they absorbed, you know, all the empires that was around them, because, all right, they absorbed their great Persian Empire, Medo-Persian Empire, but then the Romans came and absorbed them. You see, you go back into the time of Antiochus, it's, you know, the Apostle Elizabeth going to the history, that's where you get their story of the circle in the sand. You had the Roman senator, all right, Antiochus was trying to take down Ptolemy in Egypt, and that Roman senator, you know, told him to fall back. And Antiochus was trying to stall, you know, so he just drew a line around that nigga and said, look, don't come out that lines till you answer me, man. And that was pretty much the beginning of Rome absorbing the Greek Empire, man. You got it.
And 2 Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past,
Yep.
had power over the world with great fearfulness.
Woo, had power of the world with great fearfulness, man. All right? Going back to ancient Rome to the modern Rome, man. Go ahead.
And over the whole compass of the earth,
Yep.
with much wicked oppression,
Yep.
and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Yep, dwelt he on earth with deceit, because the scriptures say that Esau will be loose, all right? That dragon will be loose, all right? For what? A little season, he will go forth deceiving the earth, man.
Then we started with the Renaissance period.
Yep.
Also eventually spurring the European colonization. All right, that's how he was able to rule over the earth to those different kingdoms under European colonization. All right, the Spaniards, the Portuguese, the British, the French. All right, and put the whole world really under shackles.
That's the difference between America coming back as Ron Reloaded and the four beasts. Because see, the four beasts only had control on that side.
Yep.
But America has control every fucking word.
Yeah, it's called American hegemony.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think in the book of Jeremiah says it's the hammer of the earth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Notice the earth.
Yeah.
Yep. For the earth, verse 41. For the earth has thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit.
And this is pretty much the American reign in the earth, man. You know? America call themselves the peacekeeper, but they'll do a false flag just to start a war with a nation that don't want no smoke with it, man. None of these nations were trying to come up and invade America, man. All right? America wanted resources from these other nations. They wanted to control the trade, man. America got so much influence that if Iran want to purchase, all right, something from Russia, let's say it costs $200 million, well, America got to oversee that transaction, man. That's why you see all these countries trying to get out of that dollar, man. Because through that dollar, America oversees every transaction, man. That's why you call that the SWIFT system. That's America that run that, man. What other, if me and you have a transaction, but then someone has to oversee our transaction, that means he's over us, man.
Yeah.
You know, if we can't just do business straight out. So America is this empire they're speaking of, man.
That's another,
You know?
and that's another perspective of Habakkuk the second chapter. Neither keep it at home because he put his noses in other people's businesses. Man.
Like no, go ahead, brother.
The earth is giving head to the wicked.
Yep. Like the African dinar,
Yep.
those are gonna make their own currency within each other.
Yep.
And then Esau's like, well, wait a minute, I'm not in this.
Yeah.
Not involved. No. All right, verse 40 again. I'm sorry,
Can
verse
I
42.
back up real
Yep.
quick? And this is Revelation 13 and 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him,
Yep.
and caused the earth of them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
Yeah, because when you go, like I said, he exercised all the power of the first beast in him. Going back to ancient Rome, all right, would just get into a conflict with another nation. You know, it'd be two nations going there, they'll just intervene. And whoever Rome favored, they will help them, man. You see?
Hey, yeah, who was that? We watched that documentary with Hannibal.
Yeah.
Who was that emperor when, he heard how Hannibal was fucking up some shit, and he grabbed his garment, his toga.
Oh, yeah, you say you want either war or peace?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a senator. I don't think it was a...
It was a senator?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then going into, just to say
Now,
something
go ahead
else.
and make your point.
And going back to exercising all the power of the first beast, the same way that Rome ruled, that's how America ruled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yup.
Rome will intervene. America intervene in the conflict that has nothing to do with them.
Well, I'm just saying that, the currency,
Yep.
the eagle on the back, or the Senate, I said the Roman Senate, we have a Senate. You're exercising all the power of the first beast. Roman numerals, Colosseums. That's where we get Colossians from. I won't be surprised if Colossians go back to Colosseum, but vice versa, man.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out those pillars
Yep.
on buildings,
Different terms in Latin.
different terms in Latin. You brought back Latin.
Your lats.
Yep. The way you identify the body, just to expound.
But even lawyers, they have to use what? Those legal terms that goes back to Rome.
Yep.
Doctors.
Doctors.
Yep. The gym.
Yep.
It actually goes to Greek. But it's the same nigga.
Rome absorbed their ass. It was the Greco-Roman Empire.
Yeah. All right, a little more, bro. Whose deadly wound was healed.
Yep, the deadly wound was healed because Rome was taken down. All right. Jake, during the Dark Ages, that pagan Roman Empire was taken down, and Jake was ruled. But see, Esau came back into power during the Renaissance, man. All right, and that's why you have, 1953, what they call what? The Treaty of Rome. You see? And those, and those EU nations, all right, and they formed NATO. Then you have America, that's the Horde and Rise the Beast, man. So Rome is back in full effect, man. And it will make sense that the same nation that pierced Yahweh Shah, that same spirit will be back today when he comes back the second. That's why I say, not meet thee as a man. He really was speaking to Rome, you know? You see? Because he made Rome as a man and was crucified. You see?
All right. You done making your point, brother? All right. 2 Ezra 11 and 42. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
Yeah, because this man, when this man came into power, this man came all the way across the earth, man. Just to go to war, all right, with the tribes, man. See? This man was in the western coast of Africa going to war with the tribes, man. The tribes weren't thinking about Esau, man, the Native Americans, all right, the Incas, the Aztecs, Taínos, they wasn't thinking about America. They didn't get boats and go. I mean, they weren't thinking about Esau. They didn't get boats to go to Spain and Portugal. No, Esau brought it to them, man. All right?
Just like he did us in back in '66.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When the Rome and Jew war, trying to make us terrorists and shit.
Well, they were tributary, but Jake provoked them.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay those.
But the tax was ridiculous, though.
Right.
You know what they were doing. But Jake, provoked them Zealots, Sakari, them niggas. But see, it's gonna be even worse this time, man. That's why everybody back in their life. But see, there's a remnant here that the Lord gonna look for standard for, man. You see? Or there was time for us to be taught by Esau, and Most High allowed these men to pretty much just go through the earth and conquering, and Jake was the main focal of his conquering, man. Yeah.
Hey, what did Esau say? I'm sorry, going back to Genesis. What did Esau say after Jacob supplanted him? What was his motive after that?
Once the days of my father.
Yeah, I should
Yep.
slay my
I
brother.
should slay my brother, man.
He never came. The energy never stopped.
Yep.
Because he can't have a true kingdom without, if Jake is living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he has to eradicate Jake.
Because it's like polar. It's like polarities. One has to be up and the other has to be down with Esau and Jacob, man.
Right, backwards. Now, quick one,
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, this is Amos chapter 1, verse 11. So thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Read it again, bro.
Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword,
Yep.
and did cast off all pity.
He said he cast off all people. Because every time Esau would get the ups on our people, man, he would cast off all people, man. You see? Going back, like the brother said, 70 AD, man. We had Edomites, they were crucifying Jake, man. Men, women, and children. He didn't never just go to war with the men of Israel. He would always go to the women and children. Even when Gad would go hunting, he would go slaughter the village of women and children, man. Going back to Antiochus Epiphanes, he was hanging, babies from being circumcised, man. He never just went to war with the men of Israel. He would always go through everybody, man. The scripture say he was pretty young or old, man.
You think about it in today's times, like there's many fashions of the sword. How can Esau can utilize it, man. Who's the face of the pandemic right now? It's Jake. You know what I'm saying? When they using these different NBA stars, talking about they reject this this jab or whatever. At the same time, that's Esau Edom setting up for that great that great reset, man. But who we utilizing first and foremost? The people of color he keep talking about. These people right on the side.
You got to understand, there's a nature to Esau Edom. There's a nature. That's why in Genesis 25 and 23, it said 2 nations are in our womb, 2 manner of people. Then it said it said Esau was a cunning hunter. Then it describes Esau's nature contrary to Jacob's nature. If you go into the definition, there's a nature to Esau Edom. That's why every movie, every esoteric movie, they show the nature of the elites. And there's some dark party with a mask on their face, drinking blood, having human sacrifices, committing homosexuality, pedophilia. Why do they always show that, man? There's a nature to Esau Edom. And the Most High created because there has to be an opposite of righteousness. If all these laws make us righteousness, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not be a homosexual, then there has to be somebody else that embodied the opposite of that.
That's right, bro.
The Most High created Esau to embody the opposite of righteousness.
Like you said, that and 2/3 of our people cannot bridge the gap, which is spoken of in Luke the 16th chapter within the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. Because two mannerism of people going all the way back to the book of Genesis, because why? Through the spirit, Yahweh Shem Shah established hatred amongst the woman and the seed of the serpent.
Because look, the nature of Jacob is what? Compassionate.
Yeah.
A real Israelite has compassion, whether it's the northern kingdom or the southern kingdom.
A plain man.
A plain man, righteous, moral, perfect. He has a godly disposition.
Complete.
He has a godly disposition to be compassionate. You know, if you destroy the stereotype of Jacob, a real Israelite is compassionate. So what would be the opposite of compassion?
Lawless.
And that would describe what you just read. And what was that you just read about?
It was Amos 1:11.
That was the opposite of Jacob. So when the Most High sick Esau on us, he sick a nation that was the opposite of the 12 tribes, man. You know? Yep.
Just quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 33, beginning at verse 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him.
Just let you know, hey, this is the movie on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know, according to Isaiah 46:10, the Most High said, "My counsel should stand." So what's a part of the Most High's counsel? Is fulfilling biblical prophecy. So he's going to utilize whoever he wants to, so he can go ahead and get Esau out of here, man. As it says, Esau is the end of the world. So the Most High had to utilize him to do these things, so the Heavenly Father can be justified by sending Yahweh Shah to get Esau out of his leadership right now.
Surrender to them is liketh them best. Good is set against evil, and life against death.
Woo! Life against death. Hey, because you look at, and you can tell, like you say, two different natures between Jacob and Esau. Because here it is, these Edomites got trillions of dollars. They should be filling the face of the earth with children, man.
Yep.
But here it is, you know, Jake working at Costco, got 3 baby mamas, you know, 8 kids. But Jake bring life, man. That's their nature. Esau, he want to have 1 son for an heir, 1 or 2, maybe 2, you know. And he got all the resources, but Jake, even in our poverty, still bring life, man. Like you said, even like you say, Esau, he'll be at a dark party, you know, with the mask on and all that shit. But then you go with Jake, you know, especially back in the day, like now, it's the money, because the music and got so much money. But you remember the cookouts back in the day, how live they used to be?
House parties.
Yeah. You remember how live they used to be?
But
man?
what is Jacob's terminology? It was lit.
Yeah.
It's everything that generates creativity in life.
Yeah.
Because if you look up the word soul on the etymology, it tells you it goes to so-called black man. But soul really just means life.
Yep.
He's lively.
Yep.
That's all the 12 tribes, man. It generates life. Music from the 70s. I've been listening to music from the 70s. There's something about it. Because it's life.
Real instruments.
Real instruments.
Creativity,
Create, man. And real, all Israel is creative, man. In one way, shape, or another, man.
All right. Back into the article.
I got something good with
Oh,
you.
my bad.
And this prayer, Azariah, verse 9. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
In the hands of lawless enemies, man. All right, you see certain hints of that in certain movies that you watch, certain visuals, like the movie Elysium. And at the end of the movie, they sick those Edomite militias on Jake, and a woman, the Ephraimite woman, she was holding her child trying to protect her from Esau Edom, and he was like, "Yeah, look at that protective instinct." He was looking at her like she was an animal, man. Hey, but through the Renaissance period, European colonization, global slave trade, we were taken by lawless enemies who could trample over your grandma, your granddad, could sodomize your son and daughter, man. All right?
So the prophet Azariah, when he was a Abednego, so he was speaking about the ancient Babylonian captivity time frame.
Yep.
So are we in the northern Babylon? Right. So referencing to the weeks of Esau, first and foremost. So it says, "So thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High."
Most hateful forsakers of Yahweh Shai. Does that say the wicked are estranged from the womb? Estranged from what? The laws, man! Don't you understand that the Most High created 2 polar opposites in Rebecca's womb, man? Righteousness and wickedness, man. All right?
Because we always go about this is the movie, what we call life is the movie on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So within that movie, you have 2 opposing characters. On the right-hand side, you got the protagonist, which is the good guy, the leading character. And on the left-hand side, you got the antagonist, man.
And in the beginning of this was the Garden of Eden. All right? The protagonist started out as Adam. But then the serpent, he's the leading character. And it was all a plot for his overthrow. But y'all got it, brother. I got the scriptures. No? You got it in Times 1. Yep, you got it, brother.
And you said daughter of Right. Hey, this is Ezekiel 16:44. Behold, everyone that use proverbs shall use this proverb against thee,
Yep.
saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
Because what did the elites do? How did they come back in power? You got the Knights Templar, all right? The Freemasons. They practiced the same dark arts as the Babylonians.
Yeah.
All they did was to take the Babylonian dark arts and then they amplified it.
Now, yeah, they amplify.
All those damn Edomite inventors, their commission was to take these, make America a Ouija board. Make America a damn alternative Satan. All right, find these certain hot spots in Babylon, and we gonna set up certain grids right here to channel Satan. All those inventions, like Elder, I saw him uploaded a video years ago. Those inventions by I want to say Benjamin Franklin. His whole commission, all right, was to basically make the dark arts and amplify, make a portal from America to the spirit world, man. That's why it's a fucking grid in the American blueprint, man. Thomas Edison, that's probably the one. It was Thomas Edison. He was trying to make a channel between himself and the spirit world, man.
We had the guy, Alexander Graham Bell,
Yep.
telephone.
Yep. We switched over to AT&T, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Bell South.
Yeah.
Yep.
But all it's all what the scripture refers to Esau as what? The mistress of witchcraft. And mistress is just a feminine way of saying master.
Yep.
So he mastered all the ancient witchcraft, ancient Egypt, Babylon, Assyria. See?
It's a special reason why the Most High tell us, like, envy not thy oppressors. You gotta think about Esau, what he does on the left hand side. He tapped into those magical arts. And so you have majority of our people, they want to be just like Esau. I was talking to brother Warrior Howard today. He was just saying, like, one of the brothers was working with Jake. And Jake was telling him, it was like a big Edomite mansion. He was like, man, I don't know how they can get these mansions. It's Jake, who don't know about the truth. He was telling him, man, they stole everything. Just showing proof that what Esau has, where everybody want to be able to be like Esau eat, what he possesses on this side, he steals everything, man. He's tapped in on that left-hand side. He's really speaking to spiritual Satan, man.
Right, and you know what? And he's so high with Satan on the left-hand side is because he bowed down and worshiped Satan, man. Going into what, Luke the 4th chapter, Matthew the 4th chapter? See, Yahushua would not do it. But Esau, beginning with the nobility, they literally bowed down, and as a recompense for doing that, look at their technology.
And they showed,
You got it, brother. You got it.
now, they just showed that, I want to say it was on Paranormal Activity, the second one. Basically, they showed how that family, the reason why they got their wealth, because they had their connection to
You
Satan.
you have to worship them, man.
But you know why? Do you know why it's so second nature to them? Why they're on the upper heaven, they're more on the higher level than the other nations? Because he is Satan. Esau Edom is literally the incarnate version of Satan. That's how we're the incarnate version of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
So we're naturally connected to God in a way.
Yeah.
All right, Esau is naturally connected to Satan.
Yeah.
He naturally doesn't want to follow God.
Hey, the left hand and the right hand works the same way.
Yup.
When you worship the Most High, you know what I'm saying, through his son Yahushua, you're going to get rewarded. You're going to get more spiritual insight, and it's the same thing on the left-hand side.
And that's why that whistleblower John Ty, he came out and said that's why the elites, they stay over there in Europe, because they really tap into Satan on that side. Man.
Wow. Hey, all guys,
It's the East.
It's the fucking East.
what you call it, propitiation? All gods require sacrifice.
That's right, bro.
All gods, even the Most High. What do you think the priest was for?
That's right.
The Most High literally had priests set up to have a daily sacrifice
Right.
to keep you open to the spirit world, man. But there's a left hand and a right hand to that.
And sacrifice goes into the Hebrew terminology, zabak, which means to offer up. You know, so the more you offer up your mind, spirit to the left hand or to the right hand side, the more you're gonna get rewarded.
And then you have to make offerings to appease the Most High.
It's that daily sacrifice.
Daily.
So it's like tribute from the Most High. All gods require, in order for your land to prosper, you gotta pay a daily tribute to the spirit
Got you,
world.
bro.
On the left hand or the right hand.
Yeah.
So Esau has his left-hand priests
Yep.
going to these popes,
Yep.
these doctors, lawyers, going to these scientists. So that's his left-hand energy.
But what's the tribute on the left hand? Human sacrifice.
Yeah.
In order to maintain your power,
Yeah.
we gotta have a certain amount of spirits coming back to us every
Blood
day.
sacrifice.
Blood sacrifice.
Abomination,
Your child molestation.
homosexuality,
Yeah.
pedophilia,
Drug bone.
Oh yeah, if you ever get your license, man, they actually want to donate organs, say hand to the dial, politely.
You gotta tell him like Mr. Turner, hell no! Tell him just like that.
Hey, this Ecclesiastes 1:15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Hey, Esau cannot be made straight. Why? Because the Most High had perfected him to be the wicked. All right, so you can't do a goddamn thing about making Esau righteous. The only time you see a so-called white person that's righteous, he's an Israelite, based on the lineage of his father.
You go to the Hebrew word for straight, it says to set in order.
To set in order. You know? Yeah.
And Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul is lifted up. It's not upright in him.
And guess who's passing by? You see how the spirit works? You know, that's a testament that this is a spirit. Hey, can I give a quick precept? Make your point, Hey, get Mark 16.
Yeah, well, that's why the Most High stripped you of
Last
melanin,
precept.
stripped you of pigmentation. There was a token. See, the Most High deals with tokens and signs. Like in the wild, if you watch Planet Earth, Animal Planet, this particular animal has this particular stripe to communicate to you that's poison, stay away from it. All right, this particular animal has his antlers a certain way to show you not that's a wild animal that'll bite you, stay away from it. This poisonous frog has these loud colors that say, no, that's poison. If it bites you, you will die. The Most I stripped Esau, eat him of melanin. He ain't right. He ain't right, man. He ain't supposed to be here, man. Joshua, man. He has no reason to be in the garden.
And it goes to the nature too.
Yeah, it goes to
saying like to be wasted, but he's a waster.
Hey, woo! Hey, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? You know, what it say? They did
Shake
kingdoms, man. Right. You know, they said something like made the earth the wilderness or something like that. Yep. That's his nature.
Hey, because really, the society is like a wilderness. Everybody just pretty much goes off impulse.
Instinct.
Yeah, that's why you can get a shootout at a gas station, in a nightclub. I think Jake shot in school in Texas today. That's a wild nature. Like, you know, you will go to the jungle, you will see a random fight between panthers. You know,
for no reason.
Yeah, some monkeys or some shit. You'll see a random fight, but that's how Esau got this society. That's some random world star shit. Yeah.
So this society is designed to suppress your fucking spirit and appease the flesh.
Hey, well, that's why you got Sirach 10. Basically, the way of the king is how the people are under his rulership.
So showing he's an unwise king.
Yep.
Well, this nigga, he'll knock off acres of land and put a golf course there.
Big ruler.
Now, that's why it makes sense how it says how the fir trees are going to rejoice when Esau be taken down, man. Yeah, a strip mall.
Same strip mall.
A subdivision. You know? Hey, get this.
Like, this is the book of Mark 16 and 20. And they went forth and preached everywhere.
So we're in this stand now. Lord will, we stand. Go ahead.
The Lord working with them.
The Most High working with us via the Spirit.
And confirming the word with signs following.
And confirming the word with signs following. So we was making the point about Esau and what happened. Some Edomites passed by in a fucking caravan. All right, that is a token that Yahweh Hashem Ashai is dealing. But you have to have that asa with that spiritual insight to see it.
Which cometh thou?
Whence comest thou, Satan? There you go.
This Sirach 12:13.
Right.
Who would pit a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Yeah, 2/3 of our people are charmers, man, and they love playing with these cobras. All right, these black mambas, these green mambas, these death atlas. Okay, by you believing in his system, you are being charmed. I mean, you're playing with the snake. Who's the snake? Going back to the Garden of Egypt, but this time, Egypt, the Garden of Eden, right? Who now he's fully grown as that serpent-like snake. Okay, enter the dragon.
Hey, like you say, like you always say, like if you want to be a rapper now, who can feel sorry for you? What happened to you?
Yeah.
You know, because Jake know how this man gets down.
Yeah.
You know, he's different in the 90s. You know, everybody wasn't, you know, hip to what this man's industry was all about. And this one got way worse since then. And you still got, cause you got Jake think, well, I'm gonna be different, like you always say. Jake think he gonna get out on Esau, like no.
He gonna charm the serpent.
Yeah, he gonna charm the serpent.
But you only rent the house. If you're renting the house, you have no control over. Okay, I'm gonna change the exterior. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. No, you're just a realtor.
Hey, that's like a woman saying, you know, you call a woman over, right? You know you want to have sex. And she like, I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna come over and see what you're talking about. Like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you said, I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna come over there and see what you got to talk about.
She be asking, what we gonna do?
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I ain't come over here for no milk and cookies.
You saw how Mike Tyson was that 18-year-old in the hotel?
Yeah.
It's like, what were you doing in the hotel anyway?
Yeah.
I got a picture out
All right, bro.
Hey, well, Yashua said, when you think about it, you know, you got all these jakes coming out, and they talking about the music industry, what you gotta do, all the intros, when you still have Jake on the coming boards and check out my beat. You know what I'm saying? These niggas still trying to make me feel the music industry, man. So, hey, what the brother Tasman was reading, man, it's cool, man.
Well, what did Baby do? What Baby say? He said, Lord knows what I did to make sure my son shines.
But you know what, quick point, you know what those Israelites doing? They pulling an Edomite. They pulling an Esau.
Yeah.
They selling their soul for one more meat.
Right.
They want that microwave success.
Yep.
But look at the results. Look at Carol's. Carol showed you on Slaying That Joint. I wish. That nigga told his mom, he said, I want out. But it's hard, mom. And that nigga bowed his head and he walked off. Because once you go into those doors of Esau, you can't come back out. And if you come back out, you're never the same. Why? Because you have been morally corrupt.
Hey, y'all seen Beanie Siegel lately?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man. It's
Yeah.
horrible, man.
Who was that?
Beanie Siegel.
Yeah.
This nigga got one lung and still smoking cigarettes, man. Like you about to drop dead pretty soon.
Or any such as come not wild beasts.
Mm-hmm. So Esau's a wild beast. All right, and at the end of the day, if you get bit by this serpent, you deserve it. Because you have the prophets, you have these so-called whistleblowers who are Edomites telling you the same thing about this so-called agenda. You know?
You also got Jake within this Hollywood realm. They spilling the beans sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got all this evidence and you still want to say, man, well, it ain't going to happen to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, be it.
You're a fool. Like, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Now you mentioned the serpent, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna read this to right quick. Revelations 1 and Revelation 20 and 1.
Right.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven,
Right.
having the key of the bottomless pit
Right.
and a great chain in his hand.
Right.
He laid hold on the dragon.
Who is that? That's Yahweh Shai. All right, why? Because basically that goes to show you Yahweh Shai has the power to give dominions. All right, that's how we know through the Spirit Yahweh Shai was Isaac. Because basically he was able to give Esau a blessing, which is a kingdom, and ultimately give Jacob, which is what? The kingdom of heaven. Read that again there.
All right, verse 20, Revelations 20 and 2, Salah.
Right.
He laid hold on the dragon, the old
Who
serpent.
was the dragon? Esau. You know what I'm saying? Esau. And he laid hold to him, meaning what? He put him in submission, and there you have what? The Dark Ages, the Middle
And he
Ages.
said, you mentioned the garden. You know, that's why I said the old serpent.
Damn, that's right.
You know, showing you there was a continuation of Genesis.
Right. But you see the growth. He was known as a snake, but right at this time frame, he was a serpent. So that's growth.
That's also known as a damn power, a nation.
Yeah.
You know, that one serpent morphed into a damn power.
Yeah.
Look at America now.
Yep.
You know, look at how Rome,
Yep.
and then look at America now. You see how they
Yep.
just one step over,
Elevate.
elevate.
Hey, I think it took Gad to come over here like 1.5 years, 1.5 year. But also, I think it took Columbus to come over here like 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Show you the growth of technology.
See that?
The apostles going into how those people on the ship with him, they was about ready, give up, come against Christopher Columbus. And that's when the St. Elmo's fire came about.
The angels led him over here, man.
Man's going to go,
That's right.
She's called Manifest Destiny.
which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right, and that's Esau, meaning Esau was basically on his servitude for 1,000 years, going into the time frame of the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages, man, or the Byzantine Empire. Go ahead, bro.
And it happened 2 and 4. Behold, his soul is which is lifted up. It's not upright in him.
Right, because the Most High has programmed Esau to be the wicked. He's crooked, okay? And there's nothing you can do about it. All right, all of this is set up in the spirit, like the brother Shakal was saying, or the priest Shaquat, and somebody has to play the wicked, somebody has to play the righteous. And I'll pray to Allah Shema Shah that we are Israelites. Because we could have been a fucking Edomite, man. I'm telling you, man. I would have found out I killed myself in reincarnation. Go ahead, bro.
But the just should live by
Hey,
his
but the
faith.
just shall live by his faith. The just going into what? He's soon to be nobility of the nation of Israel.
Show us what faith is a lifestyle.
Damn.
You know? So live by faith. Hey, because we come to the time where our decision making will have to be based on faith, man. Because at the end of the day, Esau Edom got this thing sold up, cornered.
Yeah.
You know, like the grid, your paycheck, your car, your house. You don't own nothing. You know what they call it? Eminent domain.
Yeah.
So you can have a $2 million mansion that you pay cash for, but the government can just say eminent domain. All right, yeah, take that shit. That's right. You see? That's right. So carnally, this man got this shit sold up. There ain't nothing you can do carnally. Like you been hearing the truth to say, yeah, we'll start growing, hydro gardens, some shit like that. Yeah, it might work for a week or two. You see? But when it really get down, when Esau really, put the press on, it's not gonna work, man.
Hey, that's why the scripture states what? That no man should buy you.
No man.
No man. Only Yahweh Shah can save us, man. That's it. Ain't nothing you or anybody else can do that's within this system break free, man. Alright?
This Sirach 21:2, it says, flee from sin is from the face of a serpent. For if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee.
Right, and how does it bite you? By enticing you. How? Through your mindset, through your belief system. All right, and 2/3 of our people are being enticed, and therefore they are getting bitten. All right, they're getting bitten over and over and over again, and that final bite is spoken of in Revelation the 13th chapter. So hey, if they get it, let them get it. But at the same time frame, you have to have a mindset to move forward, no matter who is affected.
Well, they want to get back, put everything back to normal. They don't give a damn what it takes. They don't care. They want to go to the football game, basketball game, have a big old party. They don't give a fuck. They just want to get everything back to normal. So guess what? They gonna get big.
Hey, CNN told you last year that things would never go back to so-called normal. And they have been, in this sense, men of their word.
Yeah.
Fauci keeps saying the same shit over and over. And he had a little slick ass.
You know what he said? These niggas know they stupid. You know?
And it says, it will bite thee, the teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion slaying the souls of men.
Those legislations, man. Those legislations. Those draconian measures he's going to put down for these people.
The teeth of the lion.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to tighten that grip harder and harder, man. So what you see what's going on in the UK is just a foreshadowing of things what's going to happen here in America, man.
And that teeth also, you can equate this to their military. You know, because they're going to enforce that shit.
The draconian measures.
The draconian measures.
This was the Elder Bun that posted, right? About the National Guard was filling in on spots in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some National Guard you driving the bus, man. But it's really gonna get real when the UN troops come, man. You know, 'cause that's who's gonna all right, Esau agenda by way of death, man. They're gonna be holding court in the streets. You see? And so this man is getting ready to get real tyrannical, all right, in America, man. Censorship, when you understand dictatorship, the beginning phase is censorship. You know, they don't want no alternative narratives going around. They want narrative, man. That's the beginning of a dictatorship, is heavy censorship, man.
Fascism.
Yep.
You know, when the corporations take control over everything, and no more mom and pop stores.
So going back to that article, we were asking, is America under collapse with the food supply chain? And this is Revelation 22:10. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand.
Time is at hand. You know? But we here, man, like, when you see how everything is lining up, like Esau Edom, he's not planning to stretch this thing out too much further, man. Because that's why, you know, with these mandates, he pretty much turned America to a big death camp, man. And when he activates these things, ain't no telling how many bodies gonna drop. And so we in a time now, all right, when this man wants to put a stamp, wants to put a crown on his enterprise, man, because there's too much coming out. Every day that he waits, more exposure happens, man. So he's trying to clamp this thing up, like Facebook and all that crashing. That means that man is losing the information war, man. For him to have to do that, to crash Facebook, you know, then he gonna use his propaganda for more control, man. You know? So this man is losing in the spiritual war. All right, so he's finna get just straight corner, man. He's finna go back to the element, man.
Which is his MO.
Yeah, it's like a wrestler trying to box, man. After he keep getting hit, what he gonna do? He gonna start grabbing you. Keep boxing you, yeah. He lumped up, he gonna grab you, man.
Yep. Hey, with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. And once again, we want to give our honor and glory to
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakadash.
Double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. Abba, 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 Abba,